Joining me now, Taylor Manning, a college prep student in the Jennings Public School District, Dr. Tiffany Anderson, superintendent of the Jennings Public School District, Charmin McGee, history and drama teacher in the Jennings Public School District, and Dr. Maureen Clancy May, area supervisor with the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education's Office of Quality Schools. Thank you all so much for being here. Dr. Clancy May, let's start a little bit about talking about homeless students, but first let's define what exactly is a homeless student.
Well, under the McKinney-Vento Act that was passed in 1990, actually the definition for homeless student is anyone that lacks a fixed, regular, adequate residence at night. And in the state of Missouri, Shirley, we have approximately 29,000 students identified by the 520 school districts as homeless.
That's shocking.
It is shocking.
What was your reaction when you learned that number?
I did not know the number was that large, and it varies from district to district, and you'd be surprised that even some of our high socioeconomic districts still face a lot of homelessness in their communities. But I'm invigorated that there are a lot of good districts that are doing great things like Jennings to address the needs of the homeless students.
Yeah. And Dr. Anderson, let's talk a little bit about what's going on in your district, because you have implemented some phenomenal programs. Tell me a little bit about them.
You know, it's been exciting. We have approximately 200 students that are homeless. And that number, increases over the course of the year. And so we really looked at what barriers are in front of kids when they don't have a place to stay, when they don't have food, when they don't have clothes. And so we try to serve all that. We try to get all of that out the way. So we have a food bank. It gives out 8,000 pounds of food a month, which is approximately 200 parents every 2 weeks. They get their groceries from us. We have a washer and dryer, and parents use it, but also kids use it. And so you can wash one load of laundry for free in exchange for 1 hour of volunteerism. If you're a parent and if you're a child, you can use it at any time. There are just so many programs. We have a boutique that gives out clothes. We give out the uniforms, violin instruments, you name it. We make sure our kids have it. All we ask is that our parents get our kids to school every day. Yeah. And our newest project is our Hope House. It is a foster home for children, so that will be opening up in a couple of weeks.
How did that come about, that the school district is actually operating a foster home?
It's that idea that we saw a need. I mean, it really is that we look at what's this toxicity of poverty? What are things that when you're in poverty just naturally you face that gets in the way from learning at high levels? And one of those things is having a place to stay, having food. And so as a school district, we see it as our responsibility to take care of our community. So we own a couple of houses in the school district. I'm not a fan of having empty buildings. And so what better place to take one of the homes that we own? It used to be a priest rectory. We called it Hope House, and we've been renovating it for the last 30 days. And we are excited about the children who will now have a place to stay.
You should be, because that is just remarkable. That's outstanding. That's
Thank you.
Good work. Good work. And tell me about the cafeteria. The kids get hot meals.
We're open Monday through Saturday, and a lot of people look at that and say, oh my gosh, is that too much school? But our kids love coming throughout the week and on the weekend. We give breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We're open in the evenings until about 6 o'clock, and so we have after-school programs. A lot of that's grant funded. And so our hope is that we have investors that help us keep that going. It's essential. It keeps kids off the street. It keeps them learning. We embed tutoring throughout the day, but also after school. And so the meals are just another piece, the breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Now, on Saturdays, we also give breakfast and lunch. There's this gap through the weekend that when kids are out of school, they don't have food necessarily, especially if they are in a situation where they're either homeless or they're in a situation where they're just low income. Jennings is 100% free lunch. There are not a lot of places that have 100% of the kids that are free lunch. And because of that, we feel that we can provide and should provide every need a child has, academic, social, emotional, and physical. We even have a clinic in our school district. So we have an actual hospital within the high school serving all the needs of our students. It is so powerful.
It is powerful. And Ms. McGee, tell me a little bit about you as a teacher, because I'm sure you teach homeless students as well.
Yes.
Tell me about some of the challenges, especially the biggest challenge you think they face in the classroom.
The biggest challenge that I think they face in the classroom is people not knowing the need. But once the need is known, we will address in whatever way, shape, form, or fashion we can. All of the teachers in the Jennings School District are very, very hands-on. So we have this internal radar that when our kids walk through the room, they may not open up right away, but we'll take that window of opportunity when it allows itself to just pull them to the side and say, okay, babe, what's going on? Is everything okay? And they may say something like, I need a Pop-Tart. But if that's a repeated request, then that's a red flag. So we try to address those things, and we have things like the spot clinic in place. We have things like the care teams in place to then refer our children to make sure that those needs are met.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure it's a huge challenge for them if they're sitting in class and their stomach's growling because they're hungry, you know, or they're sitting here wondering, oh, where am I going to sleep tonight?
The great thing about it, though, is that our relationships are so great with our kids that they can come up and they can ask us. They may not always, but most of them, for the most part, know that they can come and they can ask for whatever it is they do need.
Yeah, good point.
But you know, you hit on a really good point. The academic issues in the classroom are significant. You know, the gaps in a high poverty school district are such that it's hard to get kids to catch up because they're standing in the ditch and we want them to make this high jump. They don't have this running start. So, you know, as Ms. McGee kind of talked about, that running start is a piece that we want to give our kids. Ms. McGee was a teacher at the middle school, and you know, as we see these kids, that dropout time frame normally is between middle and high. That's really when kids, that sense of hopelessness really kind of embeds itself. And so she really, I asked her, can you move to the high school? Teach history, also teach fine arts. We have found that kids that are in poverty, and perhaps all kids, the music, the arts, those are pieces that allows you to express emotion in ways that no other area might do. And so she went and got all her certificates for high school history. She teaches drama, she teaches dance, she stays Monday through Saturday, she stays every night till 6 o'clock. I mean, so it's that kind of commitment that is exceedingly high that will help our students excel. And I really believe it's why Jennings has excelled so fast in such a short period of time. Yeah. But homelessness, hunger, it gets in the way from learning. It just does. And so it's a piece of saying it is our responsibility as a school system to address that.
Yeah. Taylor, tell me a little bit about you and what do you do? Are you interested in music? Drama? Yes. Tell me a little bit about that.
So I sing. I was in The Wiz. I played the Scarecrow. As far as in Jennings, I do a lot of things. So I stay after school for tutoring because school comes first. And then I do sports such as volleyball, cheerleading, and I'm trying out for soccer.
Awesome. How do you like your school?
It's changed. I mean, when I first came, it wasn't as accelerated as it is now. It wasn't challenging. So I felt like the classes were really easy. But now it's more challenging. It's making me reach to my potential, my full potential.
Awesome. Now, are you involved in the college prep program?
Yes.
All right. I like that big smile. Hold that smile because we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about Jennings being one of the lowest performing school districts in the state, but not anymore. We'll tell you why when we come back. Welcome back to the Pulse of St. Louis. Tonight we're talking about the remarkable success of the Jennings Public School District. And Dr. Anderson, you started a college prep program. Why did you feel that it was necessary to do so in the district?
Well, you know, for a number of reasons. You know, one of the things about a high poverty environment, you know, that sense of challenge, and Taylor just wrapped it up so well, of not having the kind of challenge and rigor that perhaps they would have in another setting. In fact, Taylor's mother pulled her out because it was such a simple, it wasn't as challenging as what she wanted it to be. And so 3 years ago, when I started, I pretty much shared your quality of education or healthcare should not be determined by your zip code. I mean, it shouldn't. Shouldn't every child be able to have a private school experience, a magnet school experience? We all deserve that. Shouldn't every child be able to have instruments to play, no matter what you can afford? And so we believe that for us, we supply all of those items, the instruments, all of that. But the college prep program, I just asked, who's willing to come to school Monday through Saturday? You know, volunteer. They have 30 hours of volunteerism. They stay 8 hours in the school day instead of 7 hours in the school day. But here's the thing, they also get a running start in college. We know that if you're high poverty or first generation college students, you're more likely to drop out. Even if you go to college, you're less likely to finish. And so since we know that, then let's give them a running start. Let's get them in college early. So the college prep program, by accelerating the amount of information they get and extending the school day, they actually will get their associate's degree and their high school diploma at the same time for most of the students. Other students will have approximately 30 hours of college out of the way. They will be introduced. In fact, Taylor, you start college, you're a sophomore, right, in high school? And so when do you start college?
I start next year.
She starts next year.
Wow. What do you think about the accelerated program?
I like it. I think that it gives us a chance to actually get 2 years of college out of the way. It gives us the knowledge that we need to be successful in life. I like it.
Yeah. How do you like going to school on Saturday?
It's a challenge. It's a challenge.
Right.
But I mean, I know that this program is for my best interest. It's for me to succeed. So I know that I'm going to do what I can to succeed.
Awesome. Now, what would you like to do
Like,
in college? Like, what do you want to study? And
oh, music.
music.
Fine arts.
Fine arts. Do you want to sing, become a professional singer, or do you want to teach music, or what do you want? Have decided yet? And it's okay if you haven't.
Well, I'm still debating, but I want to be a performer and then maybe come back and teach.
Yeah. Good for you. It's always good to give back to the community. That's awesome. Ms. McGee, tell me a little bit about the students, especially teaching college prep. Do you find that there's a little resistance early on and then they settle down into the routine, or what's that like?
There was a little bit of resistance because you have to remember Taylor is part of the first wave of students coming in. So there was a transition from going the regular way into the traditional, the college prep program. So it was a mindset that had to be changed, but I got a chance to sit in on one of their college prep meetings and just to hear their unprompted voices speak about the program and how they feel like, yes, this is worth it. The light bulb has clicked on, and so now they have buy-in, and that's the biggest thing. And that's not just college prep, that's any student, any teacher, any parent, any community leader. If we can get buy-in, we've got this thing beat.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Well, let
Dr.
me add,
Clancy-May.
from our observation, the college prep is a huge piece of Jennings' success story. But the mindset behind that, the push for high expectations, the rigor, that starts in preschool and kindergarten. And that's what makes Jennings uniquely different. A lot of districts may have some type of college acceleration type program. They offer dual college courses, dual credit courses, etc. But it's that push right from the get-go, preschool, kindergarten. Those children are faced with higher expectations. They're looking at a curriculum that's stronger, that's at a higher age level than what their chronological age would normally dictate. And that really sets them apart because the teachers have embraced that. They demand that success. The parents have come to expect it from what we see. The kids can certainly meet the expectations, which is just so exciting. And when you're in the classrooms, there's so much joy. That's another sign that we look for as we go into schools and classrooms. Is there joy in learning? And there is so much joy about what they're doing, and there's no fear that this is too hard for me. And I will also just add one more piece, that they have safety nets in place. So if there are struggling students, there's all kinds of interventions and supports that Jennings has initiated in small, discriminate ways for depending on that child and what that need is.
Good point. And to your point, Dr. Clancy-May, Dr. Anderson, you were sharing with me that students as young as kindergarten age students are introduced to technology early on.
Absolutely. And one of the things, just adding to that, most high poverty environments don't have preschool. Even in St. Louis, most places that aren't high poverty don't have preschool, or they have paid kindergarten. In Jennings, preschools in every elementary school. We have a baby college. When people are pregnant, we visit them at their home. We start with that prenatal care right out of the womb. We want to make sure that you are received into the school environment and into our arms. And so that technology, just recently we received an award for Project Lead the Way, engineering and biomedical sciences, because we have it in grades K through 12. So not every classroom in grades K through 8 has it, but we have it in every school K through 12. And so that piece kind of sets us apart in saying, let's make sure we get technology. Let's make sure we get science in the classrooms. The challenge for us, again, is affording all of these things. And so we have a very, very streamlined staff. Sure. I have one person that's the assistant for as an instructional leader, that's an assistant. Other than that, curriculum, staff development people, we don't have that in our central office. We use our teachers and myself, and we go out and just really work in the trenches. And so for us, it's kind of a non-negotiable. Yeah. Kids will succeed. It's not if they succeed, it's that they will succeed.
Right.
So, when you walk through our schools, you'll see, a college that each teacher went to outside their door. In kindergarten, we ask kids what college they're going to go to. Taylor, I know you had a plan A and B. Your teaching, your teaching plan. What is your teaching plan?
But hold that thought. I'm out of time, and we'll let you answer that when we come back. So hold that thought, okay? We are back after this. Stay with us. Back after this. Welcome back to The Pulse. And right before we went to break, I had to cut Taylor off. But Taylor, this is your stage. Go for it. What would you like to do? I mean, I know you talked about music and you like to perform. Tell me a little bit more about that. Why do you enjoy performing?
I like making people happy. I like putting a smile on my face. I like making people laugh. I like showing emotion. I'm very an emotional person. I like to show emotion.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that really makes me excited, makes me happy. And so when I have music as a class, it makes me excited. Like if I have it at the beginning of the hour, the first hour, I'm good throughout the whole day. I'm ready to learn. I'm very excited. Just
awesome. And I love your uniform.
Thank you.
This is so cool. Yeah. So, Dr. Anderson, all of the students wear uniforms?
All of the college prep students, and here's what's interesting. So when you asked about the pushback, I wondered what Mr. B would say. We want kids to know that you dress for where you're going, not for where you are. You have your mindset for what you're going to be in the future. Don't be stuck with where you are right now, because we all have challenges that we must overcome to be who we're meant to be. Therefore, with the college prep program, we do require a tie, we require a blazer or a cardigan, and Taylor has both on right now. But we require basically business attire. These are students who we didn't mandate that they had to be in college prep. These are students that we said, who wants to go to school Monday through Saturday, 8 hours a day, wear business attire, do community service, and also be exposed to college at a very early age. And they signed up in droves.
How many students signed up for the program?
About 300 students. And then I will tell you.
Do you have 300 places?
We do. Well, you know what? We started it at the middle, and now it's in the middle and high. And then this year we had to start it at the elementary. Isn't that amazing?
Wow.
But here's what's incredible. Kids who are not in the college prep program started wearing ties, started wearing blazers. Kids who are not in the college prep program, they didn't want to be in the college prep program. And so even beyond that college prep program, that piece of understanding that you have a support network there at the school system, no matter what program you're in. But the expectations are extremely high for all of our students. Now, to be in college prep, some people think you have to be a gifted student. It's not that you have to be a gifted student. You have to be willing to work hard. Right. And kids who are not willing to work hard, we work with them as well, so we can make sure. I tell the kids, nobody's going to be sitting on the front porch. Everybody's going to, do their very best, because we're not going to allow you to fail.
Oh man,
and
I love that.
One thing that I love about the college prep students, they won't let each other fail. They will rally behind each other. They will encourage each other. They will make each other accountable. Where are your notes? Where's your homework? Let's go.
I love it.
You can go to our school in the morning and you will see the college prep students at their tables trying to make sure that if it was something they missed, they have it. And again, that goes back to that mindset, and it is infectious.
Sure.
And you see that they are becoming leaders without them even realizing it, but the light bulb is coming on, and so other children are then looking at them as wow, okay, this is what we're supposed to do, and this is how we're supposed to be. So it's very, very powerful.
That's awesome.
It's popular to be smart.
Yes,
It is.
Yes, it is.
Finally.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Dr.
Yeah.
Tiffany, I'm actually surprised that college prep isn't in all of our schools throughout the state.
I would say that there's elements of what you're seeing in Jennings, but again, the package, the way that the expectation is district-wide is what's different. All of our high schools and school districts do offer different elements of college prep.
So tell me a little bit about Jennings' annual performance rating. Where was the district in 2012 when Dr. Anderson was hired? And then tell me, where is the district now?
Well, the district in 2012 when she came was in the provisionally accredited range, so their score fell between 50 and 70%. So you can help me, I don't recall exactly, but it was, I think, 50.
Right around 57.
Right.
It was, getting close to that 50
right.
mark. And, below 50 is unaccredited.
Right. Right. And then fully accredited is anything 70 and above. So when Dr. Anderson started, they were in the provisional range, and their progress had been up and down. And so immediately we saw trends starting to take shape. She came in with the desire to establish a strong vision that fit the community, and it's a doable vision. It's not just a fluffy statement. It's actionable words that mean something, that says the direction of that district. And they have great Board of Education support, faculty and teacher and staff support, so everybody was buying into that, and they put together a great plan to implement things. So there's a great intentionality about what they do that makes it hugely different. And I think that's, in my opinion, as I've worked with Jennings and Dr. Anderson and her staff for a few years now, that consistency has paid off. So they've now scored twice, past 2 years, in the fully accredited range of performance, so from 70 to 100%. And MSIP's been around for a long time, the Missouri School Improvement Program, and it really tried to change the culture of looking at schools, fostering that high expectation for student achievement. All children should have those same opportunities no matter where they live, like you said, no matter what the zip code. And it's been exciting to see that when you can demonstrate multiple years of growth and improvement, then the payoff will come. And so it's the State Board of Education that makes those determinations based on a recommendation from the department. And I know that the department's eager to share the Jennings story. They've been watching it closely. And so that decision will be made in December in Jefferson City at the State Board of Education meeting.
Wow. So, Taylor, you contributed to that success. Tell me a little bit about your work ethic. How often do you study? Where do you study? Do you study at the library? Do you study at school or at home? Tell me a little bit about that.
So what I do is I stay after school, especially in a subject that I know that I really need help in. So I stay after school. I get a group of friends and we study all together when it's like group time or small groups, and we'll study and then we'll call each other. Like me and my one friend, me and her, we Skype and we'll talk about like how we didn't understand this and what can we do to improve. We need to bring our grades up. We're constantly checking our grades, like almost every single day, constantly checking our grades.
That's awesome. You know what? Dr. Anderson checks your grades every day, too. Dr. Anderson, tell me a little bit about that, because I know you do review the data every day.
Absolutely, and there are a couple of pieces to this. So this year we scored 81%, which is well above the 70% benchmark for full accreditation. And in doing that, part of this is monitoring data and having ourselves accountable. Taylor has access, as to her parents. It's one of the programs we put in to check her assessment grades every day. We believe in mastery of learning, and so that means that every week each teacher gives, whether you're college prep or not, they give an assessment at the end of every week. We expect mastery. But here's the thing, if you don't pass that assessment, we give multiple opportunities for learning. It's not, oh, you got an F.
Right.
It's the idea that we're not going to let you fail. All we need to know is how well do we teach it? And if you didn't master it, then we're going to give that assessment again. And so that piece of monitoring, if you walked in my office, you'll see all 3,000 students. You'll see their names, as well as in every school we have a data team room. You'll see the students' posted. You'll see their names, their scores, and we do track that, including for ACT attendance. This year alone, we have over 90% of our students attending every day. Last year, we had 100% placement. 100% of the students, whether you're college prep or not, 100% of the students were placed in college or a job. I absolutely love our new commissioner and just the way that Desi has talked about college and career readiness. And as well as our past commissioner has talked about college and career readiness. We have to make sure kids have a plan. It's our responsibility, and we fail them when they don't.
Right.
And so with that in mind, our kids, we try to ensure that every student tracks their own performance and that they are guaranteed to succeed with the right support.
Good point. Got to take a break. Back after this. You know, in the break, I was teasing Taylor that she has 2 plans. So tell me, where would you like to go to school?
I said Webster University or WashU.
Those are phenomenal institutions. I think you can get into both, right? Webster, WashU. This is your student. Offer some scholarships and get you in there, right? Dr. Anderson, talking about scholarship, how do you secure your financial funds to run all these programs?
You know, it is really difficult. In fact, when I started in Jennings 3 years ago, they had a significant deficit. And so before my first day of work, you know, I just started writing grants. Now, we know that grants are not necessarily a sustainable way to continue programs because all grants come to an end. But what we've tried to do is make these things part of our process. And so, you know, the program 21st Century helps feed the dinner in the evening, and it helps with our after-school programs. Taylor, I believe you take ACT classes. We embed ACT throughout the day and after school and on Saturday. And so, but a lot of those are grants. We've written several millions of dollars worth of grants at this point. One for our homeless students. It was interesting, Jennings never had a homeless grant, which it's offered from the state. And so that was one of the first grants that we wrote. And then the 21st Century grant was another one. And then from there, just really kind of looking for support. The other piece, we really rely on outside donors. We don't have a lot. We hope to have more in the future, especially with the Hope House opening. Our new foster home will be one of few places. We studied the Maplewood Joe's Place. They were so gracious in sharing what they do. And so here's what we believe, that you can replicate this success. So we took their model of the Joe's Place and we tailor fitted it to Jennings. And so we have the Hope House that will open in a couple of weeks. We are truly hoping that donors come out and support that project. We've just gone all in, just like with the food pantry. We're using our district money, and we hope that that'll be offset down the line.
I hope so, too. Got to take a break. Back in a moment. Final thoughts are up next. Welcome back. Time now for final thoughts. Dr. Clancy May, how about if we start with you, ma'am? Your final thoughts on the subject.
Well, the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education has the top 10 by 20 goals that you may be familiar with. And I think Jennings is just a shining example of why the department and the state of Missouri is making progress on those goals, that we're building the success of students to be college and career ready, that preschool makes a difference, and so we want children to be kindergarten ready and prepared to be successful. And the educator quality, and we didn't spend enough time talking about that, but the caliber of teachers, and she has a whole systemic way of, you know, building that strong staff. Those are all replicating the goals and targets for the department for the state of Missouri. And again, Jennings is featured on the department's website if you'd like more information about their success.
Good point. Ms. McGee, final thoughts.
My final thought is the philosophy that I've had since I've started teaching. If you love the whole child and you see them as a person first, education will be automatic.
Good point. Dr. Anderson, final thoughts.
You know, the final thought is that we have a responsibility as school systems to ensure that every child succeeds at the highest possible level, and that poverty should not make a difference in determining the quality of education you have. We are so appreciative of the support for our parents as we have our parent educator program and parents in our schools. But it starts with a vision and high expectations, but with support.
Good point. Taylor, final thoughts. That gorgeous smile.
My final thought would be for the students out there that's thinking that it's hard and you can't do it. Well, just think about what you want to do in life, what you want to be. And remember, you're doing this all for your dream. So keep pushing, stay motivated.
Oh, give me a high five. That's good. Awesome. All right. Thank you all so much for being here. I appreciate it. And thank you for joining us for the Pulse of St. Louis. Remember, for News 24/7, go to our website, kplr11.com. And for news during the week, be sure to watch News 11 at noon, 4, and 7. I will see you next time. Nice job. Thank you.